Hey, good evening. I'm really happy to have you here. My name is Daniel. I was a professional opera singer and beatboxer, and tonight we're going to be listening to A Million Dreams performed by Dan Vasc from The Greatest Showman. So this was a donation request from Judith W, and I deeply appreciate that. And if you guys would like to have a particular song request for me to react and to analyze, my PayPal, my Venmo, and my Patreon are all links in the description below. You can send me a message through any of them, and I will make sure that I get to them as soon as possible. If you guys would like the full uncut reactions and analysis to everything that you're about to see, also please visit my Patreon in the description below. So I really like Hugh Jackman in terms of his acting skill, but also in the interviews that I've seen of him, he just gives off a lot of dad energy, and I really connect with that. I think he's a really amicable and affable person, so I really like his stuff, but I actually haven't seen The Greatest Showman yet, but I am aware that it is about one of the most renowned American showmen of all time, P.T. Barnum, so I would be interested to see it at some point, but ultimately, what I'm trying to say is, I don't know this song, but I am very familiar with Dan and his style and his voice, so there has to be a reason why Judith recommended this, and I'm really excited to jump into this. I think Dan is an incredible performer, and I'm really excited, and I hope you guys are as well. So without any further delay, let's jump into it.
I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me.
Yeah, so just some things that I want to comment on in the beginning here. I love just this musical interlude where you have the strings creating this elongated, stretched out feeling where it's just a constant legato feel, very long and smooth, where you get the momentum from the piano line and the melodic line itself, and it's just very endearing, and you have everything you need there. The elongation from the violins and the harmonies from the violins, but also the momentum and the melodic line from the piano, so that's wonderful. When Dan comes in here, it fits that interlude very well, where he starts off in this piano or this soft volume dynamic, but it's still vocalized, and there's still a lot of breath support under it, and it's a very gentle vibrato that he incorporates, and it's just so lovely and warm, but because of the musical interlude, that feels a little cool in its audible temperature. I don't know if that makes sense, but I hope you guys understand what it is that I'm trying to go for here. I just love the contrast there.
Yes, and I can see a world that's waiting up for me.
And I'm sorry I'm pausing so much. I also just love the way he grows these phrases. I close my eyes. You just feel the growth and dynamic within the cadences instead of the entirety of the piece, which he also does. This is focusing on the dynamics on a macro scale and a micro scale, and I really, really appreciate that. It gives me a constant sense of motion and momentum, but nothing too egregious that's outside of the context of the piece or the particular lines within the piece themselves, and I really do appreciate that.
That I call my home.
Yeah.
Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before.
Yeah. Ben was not as well supported. It's a little bit outside of his range, a little too low for him. So he wasn't able to incorporate his vibrato strongly there. I did hear a little bit of it, but he immediately closed onto the N instead of holding the vowel a little bit longer. And that could just be a musical theater choice altogether. So I'm not really going to focus on that, but the note itself sounded a little out of his range. But let's listen to it again.
Through the door, through where no one's been before.
Yeah, just a little bit, but it's still okay.
Like home.
Yeah, and I love how soft he is there.
They can say it all sounds crazy.
Yeah. I love that ending. Yeah. A little bit on crazy as well, a little bit too low for him, but honestly, just because we're still in this really closed, a little darker, little chilly dynamic intro to the piece, I'm gonna look over that because I don't think it's absolutely critical to the piece that it's a little too low for him there. I'm just nitpicking at this point, but just that texture he gave, it not only adds a little bit more character to the vocal line, but it adds a nice audible sensation that is physicalized in my body. And I don't know if any of you guys are getting that, but ooh, love that feeling, dude.
And say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind.
Yeah.
I don't care, so call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design.
Yeah.
'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams that keep me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take.
Yeah.
A million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
Yeah. Absolutely wonderful throughout the entirety of that section, where you obviously heard the dynamic grow, but the vocal inflections, like his vibrato didn't really get emphasized in this particular section because we're still growing in this beginning section of the piece. Even though we're a minute and a half in, we're not getting a belt, we're not getting stronger vibrato at the tail ends of cadences. We're still in that very gentle giving of the heart stage before we explode out all of our energy kind of sensation. Even if the dynamic grows, that's just enough contrast in this section. If we're looking at it from a story perspective, where we have the exposition, the rising action, the climax, the falling action, and the resolution, we're still in that rising action stage where we haven't reached the climax by any means, but we're still growing and we're still developing, and it's just such a smooth transition that Dan takes here, and I really, really respect that.
A million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
Yeah. Even adding a soft K there, wonderful.
There's a house we can build, every room inside is filled.
It's so good. Especially on every room, that his tongue was so relaxed and the just flowed so freely. Is a pretty difficult vowel to sing, even though it's very open and it sounds very simple to sing, where it's very easy for the middle back of your tongue near your uvula to rise up to make that sound. But if you completely relax your tongue, because your tongue begins right down here and it ends near the front of your mouth, usually resting in the mandible. So when you create that open S sound, you want as much space as possible by relaxing your tongue. Not where you can feel your tongue rising up to your soft palate or next to your uvula. And when you create that open S sound, it sounds so much more warm and so much more enveloping than having that raised and feeling a little bit more constricted, ever so slightly, but you can tell it audibly. And the fact that his tongue was so relaxed on that every house was filled, it was so warm, and that really let me know, not just through watching him, but actually hearing him, how warm and relaxed that note was, and it was just so well done.
There's a house we can build, every room inside is filled.
Yeah.
With things from far away. The special things I compile, each one there.
Oh, what a slide.
The special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day.
Yeah, love that. Beautiful straight tone into a vibrato. And even the straight tone itself was so well supported. You felt that entire line was just meticulously phrased well. And the flow was just so seamless. Yeah.
They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our mind.
Yeah. So I was going to mention on this earlier, but I wanted to give it a little bit more time for him to come back to it. When an artist repeats something, they can say. The idea of repeating something, especially in musical theater, is there has to be a reason you're repeating it. It's not just they can say. It's you're actually experiencing something of, yeah, they can say. You know, you're reliving the experience of people telling you something is crazy, that your idea is crazy. But no, it's they can say that it all sounds where you're actually finishing the thought on the second one. So the fact that there's a slight difference in the inflection of they can say. Yeah, I really, really appreciate that. Not just making it they can say, not just a difference in notes, but if you just sing it the exact same way, I really don't care for that, because you're trying to have a conversation with yourself in this moment, and you're charging yourself up. You're reaching that climax of the story of the song, and you need to constantly have that feeling of that rising action constantly moving. So I really do love the fact that even if it's slight, you do hear that vocal inflection of the differences between they can say kind of feeling, and it's so good.
They can say we've lost our minds. I don't care if they call us crazy.
Yeah. For me personally, I think he's doing it out of order, just in terms of the intense one is first, and then it goes soft, and then grows again. It's a little weird for me, but I'm not going to judge him based on his own artistic interpretation of the piece. That's all on him, and I still respect the choice, obviously. I just love the fact that there's a difference in it.
Run away to a world we desire. Every night I lie in bed, the bright hair colors fill my head.
Oh, that passaggio work! Just that break in his voice on head. Oh, let's listen to that again.
The bright hair colors fill my head.
Ah!
Million dreams are keeping me away.
Ah, I love his belt.
Of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams, it's all it's gonna take.
Ah!
A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. However big, however small, let me be part of it all.
Yeah. There we go. So right here, he's trying to be a lot more delicate in that particular section, in this particular part of the bridge here. And to do so, it's not so much of a very grounding, powerful belt energy. He just immediately transfers into his head voice and allows these notes to just delicately be approached and left behind as he continues the rest of the phrase. And I really do appreciate that. It adds a different vocal texture to the cadence itself, but also lets us know the emotional core of what it is he's singing in that particular moment in time, where a belt feels very grounding, very confident, very directed and targeted, moving forward, where this head voice feels, I still am moving forward, but with not as much fervent energy. And he's letting himself stew in this emotional core during that section, and I really, really dig that a lot. I also, on the word away, he goes away with that HWEI, away kind of feeling, and it just gives a little bit more emphasis on away, and I can get behind that. It gives more of a passionate feeling to what it is that he's trying to exclaim here.
Small, let me be part of it all. Share your dreams with me. You may be right, you may be wrong, but say that you bring me along.
Yeah, dude! He just raises his zygomatic arches, or as my teacher used to call them, ziggies. And when he makes these really bright, directed vowels, bring, instead of bring, bring. And it's just so forward, and it's very much a musical theater style to make it this forward. I just love that he's really raising his zygomatic arches there, directing the sound through the center of his mask, or just the bridge of his nose there, and it's just so forward and targeted, and it sounds so good for this style of music. Yeah! Ah, that glottal on eyes instead of close my eyes, close my eye. Yeah, it's so much more impactful with that glottal there. To the world I close my eyes to see. I close my eyes to see. Every night I am back. Great control. His colors fill my heart. A million dreams are keeping me. A million dreams, a million dreams. I think of what the world could be. A vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we gotta make. Amazing. Beautiful harmonies. We're gonna make. For those wondering, I did watch the end of it. Please check the link in the description below for the Patreon link, because that's where I watch it. But man, dude, Dan is just so dynamic in his style of singing. Whether it's maintaining this level of composure and strength and classical technique, or maintaining this character and energy and musical theater technique, or maintaining more of this raw power in his metal technique. He's just so dynamic in his music. And even though I think he has more of a specialty in metal music and rock music, you know, he's able to execute these other genres very well, and I really do appreciate the fact that he does dive into these other genres and puts his absolute all of his energy and charisma and personality into it, and it's just awesome. Dan, brother, that was really great stuff, and I'm really excited to hear more from you. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. If y'all liked it, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And if you didn't like it, please leave a dislike and let me know why in the comments below. I do read all of the comments, even if I may not heart or reply to them, so please know that your comments do not go unnoticed. My live streams are currently Thursdays at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so if you guys would like to stop by and say hey, or ask any questions about myself or the channel, I'd be more than happy to be there for you guys. I am considering adding another live stream to the week, so just let me know down in the comments below if you guys would like that, and list the time that would best be available for you, I guess. I want to take this time to appreciate all of you for being here watching these videos. It really does mean a lot to me, so thank you so much. And I can't wait to see all of you in the next video. Have a great rest of your evening, everyone.